If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want life to get better, you must get better. Let me give it to you straight. Most people are not held back by a lack of talent. They're held back by a lack of truth. Truth about who they are. Truth about how they live. And truth about what it really takes to change. See, success doesn't care about your excuses. The clock isn't going to stop while you figure it out. And the world? It keeps moving with or without you. That's why this message is not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who want to feel good. It's for those who are finally ready to face the facts and use those facts as fuel. Because behind every breakthrough, there's a brutal truth someone finally had the courage to face. And if you'll stay with me, I'm going to give you 7 of them. 7 truths that might sting a little, but if you embrace them, they'll set you free. Free to grow, free to win, free to unlock that potential you've been sitting on for far too long. So buckle up, get honest, and remember, the truth might hurt, but it also heals. Let's begin. You are where you are because of who you are. Let me begin with a truth that might sting a little, but stay with me, because this one truth can change your whole life. You are where you are because of who you are. Now that's not easy to hear. I understand it's much more comforting to blame the economy, your upbringing, your boss, or even the weather. But comfort won't change your future. Ownership will. You see, life responds not to your wishes, but to your character, not to your complaints, but to your philosophy. Your current results, your income, your relationships, your health, your peace of mind, are all mirrors, and what they reflect is you. That's the brutal truth, but here's the beautiful opportunity. If you created your current reality, you can also create a better one. The law of the mirror. Let me ask you something. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, do you reach out and try to change the mirror? Of course not. You adjust yourself. Yet most people spend their lives trying to rearrange the mirror, changing jobs, blaming others, switching partners, hoping the outside world will fix what's broken inside. That's backwards. If you want more, you must become more. That's the great secret. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying your circumstances are your fault, but I am saying they are your responsibility. Your results are a reflection of your habits. You don't get success by accident, and you don't arrive at failure by accident either. You arrive by your daily disciplines, or your lack of them. Show me someone earning $30,000 a year and wanting to earn $100,000. And I'll ask, have you become a $100,000 person yet? Because money doesn't go to need, it goes to value. If you increase your value, you increase your income. If you grow your mindset, you elevate your opportunities. If you master your time, you multiply your impact. Your habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They're always building either a foundation for success or a prison for mediocrity. No more excuses. No more victim stories. Now let's have an honest conversation. You cannot lead your life and cling to a victim story at the same time. One has to go. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. You've got to decide, right here, right now, to become the hero of your own story. Excuses are easy. Blame is easy. But success, that's earned. And it starts the moment you say, I am responsible for my life, and I'm not waiting on anyone to fix it. Change begins with a decision. Now this is not about beating yourself up. It's about waking yourself up. You can't fix what you won't face. And you won't face what you keep excusing. So here's the question. What do you need to change about you to get to where you want to go? Is it your mindset, your work ethic, your circle of influence, your relationship with time, your willingness to face fear? Don't say everything. That's overwhelming. Just pick one thing, and change it. Because small changes, practiced daily, compound into massive transformations over time. The greatest investment you'll ever make. I tell people all the time, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Jobs may come and go. Economies may rise and fall. But your value, who you are becoming, that stays with you forever. Read the books. Get around people who challenge you. Discipline your habits. Set clear goals. Upgrade your thinking. Success isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by becoming an attractive person. And attractive doesn't mean good looking. It means disciplined, focused, skilled, and valuable. So here it is, my friend. You are where you are because of who you are. And the good news is, who you are is up to you. You're not a tree. You can change. You can grow. You can rise above the old you and build a better version. One decision at a time. One discipline at a time. One truth faced at a time. If today you choose ownership over excuse, discipline over drama, and growth over guilt, you've already begun unlocking the door to your greatest potential. Now that's a life worth building. Time won't wait, and it doesn't care. Let me be very clear. Time does not care. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're confused. It doesn't care if you're not ready. And it certainly doesn't care if you're scared. Time is neutral. It keeps ticking, no matter what you do or don't do. So the real question is not, will you get more time? The real question is, what will you do with the time you've been given? The great equalizer. You know, life is full of inequality. Some people are born with more money, some with more connections, some with more opportunity. But time is the great equalizer. Rich or poor, young or old, black or white, male or female, we all get 24 hours a day. No more, no less. And yet some people use those hours to build empires. Others use them to binge television and scroll aimlessly through social media. The difference isn't time, it's how they value their time. You can't save time, you can only spend it. Let's make something clear. Time is not a savings account. You don't get to store it up. You don't get to carry it over. Every day you wake up, your time account is reloaded. And by the end of the day, it's empty. Spent, gone. The tragedy is, most people don't spend time. They waste it. They treat it like it's infinite. Like tomorrow is guaranteed. Like someday will eventually show up. But let me tell you, someday is not a day of the week. If you don't respect the clock will mock you. It'll pass you by and leave you wondering, where did the time go? The cost of delay is greater than you think. Let's talk about procrastination. Some people say, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll begin once things settle down. I'll take action next week. But let me ask you something. How many dreams have died in the waiting room of next week? Every day you delay, the cost grows. You lose momentum. You lose confidence. You lose opportunities that may never come back. You lose the compound effect of consistent effort. And the saddest part? You lose a little bit of your belief in yourself. Because deep down, you know you were capable. But you didn't act. Exchange time for growth, not comfort. Too many people trade their evenings for entertainment. But the successful, they trade theirs for growth. Now I'm not against rest. Rest is good. But there's a big difference between resting and escaping. Between relaxing and avoiding. Ask yourself, are you using your time to grow your mind, your skills, your relationships? Or are you just killing time? Because if you're killing time, don't be surprised when it kills your dreams. Create a sense of urgency. Here's the truth. There is no such thing as the right time. There's only now. There's only today. If you wait for perfect, you'll be waiting forever. If you wait to feel motivated, you'll waste half your life. What you need is urgency. Urgency creates focus. It eliminates distraction. It forces decisions. I always say, don't start your day until you've finished it on paper. Plan your time. Own your time. Because if you don't, someone else will. Let's wrap it up. Time won't wait. It doesn't slow down for your excuses. It doesn't pause for your confusion. And it won't care if you look back in 5 years with regret. But you should care. You should care enough to stop wasting it. You should care enough to guard it like treasure. Because that's exactly what it is. Don't just be busy. Be effective. Don't just fill time. Use it. And remember, your future is shaped not by what you intend to do someday, but by what you actually do today. So don't waste another hour. Don't lose another day. Because time isn't the enemy. Time is the test. And those who respect it win. Motivation fades, but discipline builds empires. Let's set the record straight. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. Motivation feels good. It's exciting. It's emotional. It's the reason so many people attend seminars, watch videos, read books. And don't get me wrong, motivation has its place. It can start the journey, but it won't sustain it. Because motivation is like a sugar rush. It gets you going. But then what? Discipline. That's what keeps you going. The trap of only doing what you feel. One of the greatest traps in life is waiting to feel like it. I'll go to the gym when I feel inspired. I'll work on my business when I feel ready. I'll have that hard conversation when the timing feels right. But if you live by how you feel, you'll be broke, tired, and full of regret. Because the truth is, you won't always feel like it. In fact, most of the time you won't. But successful people, they do it anyway. They show up when it's hard. They work when it's boring. They grind when no one's watching. Why? Because they're not driven by mood. They're led by discipline. The power of a routine life. People think discipline sounds boring. They say, I don't want to live a rigid life. But let me tell you, routine creates freedom. When you don't have to negotiate with yourself every morning, when your habits make your decisions for you, when your life has structure, rhythm, and intention, that's when you start to win. Discipline doesn't restrict you. It releases you from chaos, from inconsistency, from emotional roller coasters. It allows you to focus on what matters, day in and day out. Even when nobody claps for you, the small things compound. Discipline doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it looks like getting up 30 minutes earlier, saying no to the extra scroll, finishing the task you promised yourself, reading 10 pages instead of watching one more episode, tracking your spending instead of guessing. See, it's not one big moment that changes your life. It's 1,000 small disciplines, repeated, refined, and respected. Because what you do daily, you become permanently. The empire isn't built in a day. It's built daily. Emotion is temporary. Systems are forever. Let's say you want to get fit, and today you feel motivated. Great, you go for a run. But what about tomorrow? What happens when you're tired, or stressed, or discouraged? That's when systems matter. That's when discipline steps in. Because if your habits are built on motivation, they will crumble. But if they're built on commitment, on structure, on identity, they'll carry you even when motivation is nowhere to be found. The secret: make discipline automatic. Don't think, just do. Make the decision once, and then follow the routine again and again. Discipline builds self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build confidence. And every time you break a promise, you weaken it. Discipline is not just about results. It's about self-respect. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, as someone who doesn't flinch in the face of fatigue, as someone who leads themselves. And let me tell you, when you trust you, everything changes. You walk differently, you speak differently, you live differently, because now your confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from history, a track record of discipline that proves who you are. Let me leave you with this: motivation will get you out of bed. Discipline will build the life you get out of bed for. Motivation fades. It's fragile, it's emotional, it's short-lived. But discipline is dependable, durable, strong. And if you commit to it day by day, brick by brick, you won't just improve your life. You'll build an empire. So here's the call: show up when you don't feel like it. Finish what you start. Let your actions speak louder than your inspiration. And trade motivation for mastery. Because at the end of the day, motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. Let discipline move in, and let your potential finally come alive. Your environment is designing you. Let me paint the picture for you. A young man once said to me, "Mr. Rohn, I want to change. I want to grow. I want to succeed." So I asked him a simple question: who are you hanging around? He paused. He didn't expect that. But that's where it all begins. Because here's a truth that will either elevate you or enslave you. Your environment is either pushing you forward or pulling you down. The silent sculptor: environment is not always loud. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just whispers. It whispers through the attitudes you absorb, the expectations others place on you, the energy of the room you sit in, the conversations at the table. And little by little, without realizing it, you become a product of it. You think like them. You act like them. You settle like them. Your environment is the silent sculptor, molding your thoughts, your standards, your future. So let me ask you, what's your environment shaping you into? Show me your circle. I'll show you your ceiling. If your 5 closest friends complain all day, live without goals, mock success, avoid books, and fear growth, what do you think that does to you? Now, I'm not saying you cut people off with no reason, but I am saying you must protect your future like it's treasure. Because it is. And you cannot rise while being anchored by mediocrity. If you're the smartest person in the room, if you're the most disciplined in your group, if you're the only one talking about goals and vision, you're in the wrong room. You need people who stretch you, challenge you, call you higher, not drag you lower. Proximity is power. Why do you think champions train with champions? Because excellence rubs off. So does laziness. So does fear. So does apathy. If you walk into a room full of excellence, your posture changes. You speak more carefully. You listen more intently. You elevate. That's the power of proximity. So be intentional about who you sit next to. Be intentional about who gets your time, your ears, your mind. Don't let negative, average, visionless people shape your destiny. You only get one. Audit your inputs. Now, your environment isn't just people, it's also what you consume. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What fills your feed, your morning, your mind? Some people wake up and check the news before they check their goals. They start the day with chaos instead of clarity. No wonder they're anxious, confused, and unfocused. You have to feed your mind what your future requires. Listen to people who lift your thinking. Read words that sharpen your discipline. Watch content that builds, not breaks. Your belief, garbage in, garbage out. Greatness in, greatness out. Build a growth environment. If you want to change your life, don't just change your habits. Change your atmosphere. Create a space where books are within reach. Keep your goals visible. On the wall, your phone, your mirror. Set up reminders that call you to action. Fill your room with light, energy, clarity. Make your home a training ground, not a comfort trap. You can't control every environment, but you can control how much of it controls you. So choose environments that demand more from you, that reflect your future, not your past. Let me leave you with a challenge. Look around your life. Look at your friendships, your media, your space. Now ask yourself, is this environment building me or breaking me? Because you don't rise above your environment by accident. You rise because you made a decision to upgrade your circle, to elevate your inputs, to walk away from anything that makes you small. Success is not just a personal effort, it's a positional one. Put yourself in rooms where you're humbled, sharpened, stretched. Because the truth is, you don't just design your environment is designing you. So design it on purpose and build the future you deserve. Excuses are lies disguised as reasons. Let me say something straight and simple. An excuse is nothing more than a well-dressed lie. Oh, it sounds good. It sounds logical. It sounds reasonable. But in reality, it's a lie that you've told yourself so many times, you've started to believe it. We all have them. Excuses for why we're not where we want to be. Excuses for why we haven't started. Excuses for why we're stuck. And every time you repeat one, you delay your destiny. The psychology of excuses. You see, an excuse is your mind's way of protecting you from discomfort, from embarrassment, from effort, from change. It's your inner voice saying, if we can just explain it away, maybe we don't have to face it. But here's the danger. Every excuse you accept becomes a limit you live with. Let me say that again. Every excuse you accept becomes a limit you live with. So if you want to remove the limits from your life, you've got to start by removing the excuses from your vocabulary. The language of delay and defeat. Excuses come in many disguises. You've heard them. I'm too busy. It's not the right time. I don't know where to start. What if I fail? That's just not who I am. Let me translate those for you. I haven't prioritized what matters. I'm afraid of doing it imperfectly. I don't want to be uncomfortable. See, excuses always sound mature and sophisticated, but they keep you small. They protect your comfort zone and trap your potential. Reason or excuses? Ask this question. Not every reason is an excuse, but most people confuse the two. Here's a simple test. Is your reason something you can do something about? If yes, it's not a reason. It's an excuse. I don't have time. Can you wake up earlier? Cut distractions? I'm not good at it. Can you learn, practice, improve? People don't support me. Can you find new voices? Change your circle. Most of what people call limitations are actually decisions they haven't made yet. Don't be the one standing in your way. The truth is, it's not your boss, not your parents, not the government, not your background, not your education. It's you. And the moment you stop making excuses is the moment you take back your power. That's what personal development is all about. Owning the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Not explaining it, not blaming it, but closing it. Replace excuses with action. The antidote to excuse is execution. You don't eliminate excuses by talking about them. You eliminate them by taking action in spite of them. Here's how. Start small. One decision, one step. Get honest. What excuse are you tired of hearing from yourself? Make a list. What can you actually control? And start there. Create systems. So you don't rely on mood or motivation. Build momentum. Action builds confidence. Confidence kills excuses. Success doesn't come to the person with the best story. It comes to the person with the most responsibility. So let me tell you like I'd tell a good friend. It's time to stop lying to yourself. Yes, you've been through things. Yes, the road hasn't been fair. Yes, you're tired, but you are not broken. You are not powerless. And you are not a victim. You are a builder. You are a fighter. You are a creator of the future. And the only thing standing in your way is the excuse you keep repeating. So today, make a new decision. Drop the excuse. Pick up the responsibility. Trade in your reasons and claim your results. Because excuses may comfort you in the moment, but discipline rewards you for a lifetime. And let me remind you, excuses sound best to the person who makes them. But success listens to results. So let's stop explaining and start becoming. You'll never outperform your self-worth. Let me open with a truth that changed my life. You will never earn more than you believe you're worth. You will never lead better than you believe you deserve. And you will never build a life bigger than the identity you've accepted. In short, you can't outperform your self-worth. Now I know that's tough to hear, but listen, if you don't believe in your value, you'll settle for less. You'll shrink in big moments. You'll tolerate what you were born to rise above. Because deep down, you'll think, this is all I'm worth. Your life is a mirror of what you think you deserve. Have you ever wondered why some people self-sabotage just when things start going well? They start a business, it grows, and then they pull back. They find a healthy relationship and suddenly disappear. They get a raise and then overspend it. Why? Because their results exceeded their self-worth. So they pulled themselves back to where they believe they belong. Let me tell you, it's not the market that determines your success. It's not your past. It's not even your potential. It's your belief about what you're worthy of. You don't get what you want. You get what you're willing to receive. Now I've heard people say, Mr. Rohn, I want to be wealthy. I want a great life. I want freedom. And I say, do you believe you deserve it? Because if your internal story says you're not good enough, not smart enough, not from the right background, you'll never allow yourself to keep success, even if you catch it. Let me be blunt. Self-worth sets the ceiling. Raise it and your whole life rises with it. The way you treat yourself teaches the world how to treat you. You ever notice how some people command respect without saying a word? It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's self-respect. Because when you value yourself, you stop begging for attention. You stop tolerating toxic behavior. You stop accepting scraps from life's table. You show up fully. You speak with clarity. You demand more, not from others, but from yourself. And the world responds. Because the world sees you how you see you. Build self-worth, like a muscle. Now let me tell you, self-worth is not a gift. It's a discipline. It's not fixed. It's built. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. Small wins create belief. Feeding your mind good things, read, learn, grow. Surrounding yourself with people who see your potential. Speaking life, not doubt, over your future. Doing the hard things, because confidence comes from courage, not comfort. Every time you do what you said you'd do, every time you take action when it would be easier not to, you tell yourself, I'm someone who shows up. I matter, I count. And that voice, that inner dialogue, that's what shapes your future more than any goal ever will. Stop settling. Start expanding. I want to challenge you today. Where have you been settling? Because you think it's all you deserve. Are you undercharging for your work? Are you staying in a relationship that drains you? Are you playing small with your talent, your gifts, your ideas? That's not humility. That's limitation. True humility is knowing you're valuable and still hungry to grow. It's being grateful and ambitious. It's walking with quiet strength, not loud insecurity. So stop shrinking. Stop apologizing for existing, and start expanding into who you really are. Let's bring it home. You don't become successful and then believe in yourself. You believe in yourself, and that belief creates success. So today, decide, no more begging for approval. No more hiding behind fear. No more stories of not enough. Look in the mirror and remind yourself, you matter, you belong, and you're worthy of more. Not because of your past, but because of your potential. Raise your self-worth, raise your standards, and watch your life catch up. Because you'll never outperform your talent until you stop undervaluing yourself. And remember, you teach the world how to treat you by how you treat you. So treat yourself like someone who is building an empire, because that's exactly what you're doing. One day will turn into never. Let me tell you a little secret about success. Someday is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. One day, I'll start that business. One day, I'll write the book. One day, I'll get serious about my health, my money, my life. But here's what you have to understand. One day will turn into never. Because someday isn't a real day. It doesn't exist on the calendar. It has no deadline, no urgency. no accountability. It's just a soft place to hide from the work. And the longer you wait, the heavier the regret. Action delayed is potential denied. Every dream has a window, and windows don't stay open forever. There comes a moment when inaction becomes a decision to stay the same, a decision to keep wishing instead of working, a decision to keep watching others win, while you explain why you're still getting ready. Preparation is good, but endless preparation becomes procrastination in disguise. At some point, the most responsible thing you can do is start, even if it's messy, even if it's small, even if you're scared. Start before you're ready. Now I hear it all the time. I'm just waiting for the right time. Let me help you. There is no right time. There is only now. If you wait until you're confident, you'll never begin. If you wait until you have all the answers, you'll miss all the opportunities. I always say, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to become great. So don't wait for clarity. Take action, and clarity will meet you along the way. Time is not on your side. The biggest lie people believe is that they have time. But time is slipping. While you scroll, while you overthink, while you rehearse the same excuses, life is moving. Other people, less talented, less experienced, less prepared, are passing you by simply because they started. Remember this: you can recover money, you can rebuild confidence, you can renew relationships. But you can't recover wasted time. Fear doesn't go away, you outgrow it. A lot of people stay stuck because they're afraid. Afraid to fail. Afraid to be judged. Afraid to make the wrong move. But here's what you must understand. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action despite the fear. You don't wait for fear to leave. You walk forward anyway. And as you move, something amazing happens. The fear shrinks, and you grow. So stop waiting for fear to go away. Face it, walk through it, and win anyway. Discipline beats delay. Every time, while you're waiting to feel ready, discipline is already doing the work. While you're waiting for motivation, discipline is setting the alarm, showing up, taking steps, getting better. The people who succeed, they don't wait to act, they act, and that's what creates momentum. And momentum, that's the miracle. Once you build it, even the hard things become easier. Let's bring it home. The saddest words you'll ever say are, I could have, I should have. If only I had started. Don't let someday rob you of the life you were meant to build. Don't let fear, perfectionism, or overthinking become your prison. The truth is simple. You don't need more time. You don't need more permission. You don't need to wait. You just need to decide. So today, make a new vow. No more delay. No more excuses. No more one day. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your now. Because remember, one day becomes never, until you decide that today is the beginning of everything. Brutal truths, beautiful results. Well, now, you've come to the end of the message, but just the beginning of the journey. Let's be honest, these weren't soft lessons. They weren't easy truths. They weren't meant to be. Because if easy changed people, the world would be full of transformed lives. But it's not, because real change requires something more. Courage, clarity, and brutal honesty. And that's what these 7 truths were all about. Not to discourage you, but to wake you up. Not to judge you, but to equip you. Not to tear you down, but to build you back stronger, brick by brick. Let's recap the 7 brutal truths. Truth 1. You are where you are because of who you are. Change begins the moment you take full responsibility. Truth 2. Time won't wait, and it doesn't care. Every second is either invested or wasted. The choice is always yours. Truth 3. Motivation fades, but discipline builds empires. You don't need another hype video. You need habits that outlast emotion. Truth 4. Your environment is designing you. Your circle, your surroundings, your inputs shape your future more than you think. Truth 5. Excuses are lies disguised as reasons. You don't need a better story. You need better standards. Truth 6. You'll never outperform your self-worth. If you want to raise your life, you've got to first raise your belief. Truth 7. One day will turn into never. Your dream doesn't live in someday. It lives in today. Now it's your turn. Now, my friend, you've heard the truths. You've looked in the mirror. You've felt the pull of potential deep inside you. But let me remind you, listening is not enough. Awareness without action is just another form of procrastination. It might feel productive, but it won't produce results. So what will you do? What habit will you break? What call will you make? What chapter will you write? What standard will you raise? Because the brutal truths only matter if they lead to beautiful decisions. The power is in your hands. No one can do it for you. Not your mentor, not your spouse, not the economy, not luck. You are the author. You are the builder. You are the reason. And that's the most empowering truth of all. You may have come from behind, but you don't have to stay behind. You may have started late, but you can finish strong. You may have believed lies, but now you know better. And once you know the truth, you're responsible for what you do next. So here's my final encouragement to you. Face the brutal truths, feel the weight of them, but don't stop there. Use them. Use them as a compass. Use them as fuel. Use them as the fire that burns away every excuse, every delay, every limiting belief. Because on the other side of brutal truths are beautiful results, a better mindset, a stronger you, a life that reflects the very best of what you were always capable of. So don't run from truth. Run toward it, because truth, when embraced, becomes transformation.